Why doesn't anybody really talk about what it feels like to deal with CPS during recovery? Because I've been there. I dealt with them for 2 years. 1 year was voluntarily after I had my baby and tested positive for pain meds after a tooth was pulled. But I didn't ask for them to be in my life. I didn't volunteer myself to be with CPS. That's some bullshit. They called it voluntarily, whatever, but after almost a year, on the 11th month, I tested positive for something else. They told me either I was mental or using. So I said, figure it out yourself, because by then they were pissing me off. Turns out I did test positive, and that's when they said, now we have to take you to court. I said, good, take me to court, because now you can't just show up at my house whenever the hell you want. After that, I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was good. They were in my life. Every move I made was watched. You're trying to heal, you're trying to stay sober, but you've got court dates, classes, drug tests, supervised visits. Everything feels like a test. And even when you're doing everything right, it still feels like it's not enough. They don't see your progress. They only see your past, your mistakes. It's shitty because you're trying to get your kids back while keeping your sanity intact. I've been in those courtrooms. I've sat across from caseworkers who didn't know me, but they thought they did. I had visits cut short. I've watched my kids cry as I left. I've walked out of buildings holding it together just enough to not break in front of strangers. I'm Jenny, a formerly homeless addict and mama in recovery, and I tell these stories because nobody else usually does. If you're in this system, you're not weak, you're not broken, you're not a failure. You're someone fighting for their family while healing their pain. Drop a comment if this hit close, and follow me for more truth most people are too scared to talk about.